Welcome to the I Love Buffalo podcast. Part of the I Love Buffalo network with your host, Josh Catry.
Welcome, good neighbors, to the I Love Buffalo podcast. I'm your host, Josh Catry. If you're new, a little bit about the podcast. We'll cover everything from Buffalo's news, business, sports, crime, art, music, politics, history, unsolved murders, corruption, jiu-jitsu, nature, and the outdoors, MMA, entrepreneurship, upcoming events, and all things that champion the underdog city that we all love and the good people in it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today in the podcast, Josh Allen ties the knot. So, you want to be an entrepreneur in Buffalo? An interview with an amazing Buffalonian. Chippewa closes to street traffic because of violence, the case of the missing statue, and a couple of hikers trip so hard they call 911. All this and more on this episode of the I Love Buffalo podcast.
In the song of life, who's wrong or right? I try to bring light when I'm on the mic. And summer breeze, that's a song I like. When summer days turn into summer nights.
That right there was Buffalo's own Grub featuring Jack Brown with the song called Summer Breeze. Grub will be playing a show at Nietzsche's on Allen Street on the 5th. They are playing with Underground, Springhouse, Balcom Brothers, and Big Shrimp. It's $20 at the door, $15 ahead of time. That's a deal. That's some great music right there. Great lineup. They also play the following week for the free Saturday sessions at Sunset on the Pearl Street patio. So that's a whole series going all summer. Every Saturday on the patios, it's free, and that's rain or shine. So if it's not on the patio, it would be inside. And they're doing a tribute set to Sublime called Grub Lime, as in their name Grub. And this is the first time they're doing this, and that should be a great show as well. That's a free event. So check out Grub. We'll be playing them throughout this podcast in the intermissions. In our first segment, Buffalo's Prince just became the king. Josh Allen took the next step in his playbook and put a ring on it. Let's hope his newlywed status helps us seal the deal this year. And if that happens, there will be statues made of Haley too, I'm sure. For those of you who have been asleep in the wheel the past few years, the Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen just married Haley Steinfeld, the actress, yesterday on May 31st in a private ceremony in California where Josh and Haley are from. Steinfeld apparently wore a strapless white gown with opera gloves, and Josh was rocking his classic black tuxedo. Always so classy and representing Josh. The couple began dating in May of 2023 and got engaged in November of 2024 in Malibu. Some notable attendees were just his friends and family. It was a very private event, and we don't know much else except for at the end of this podcast, our quote of the week will be about love. So good luck to the two of you. And now let's go win a Super Bowl. All right, this next segment is pretty special to me. I've had the opportunity to interview my father, my dad, Earl Catry, and he is an interesting guy. To me, he is the epitome of the story of the American dream. So his parents come off the boat from Europe. He grows up poor on the east side of Buffalo. He works the blast furnaces at Bethlehem Steel during its heyday to pay for accounting and business classes at Canisius College. He starts his own accounting practice and investments, starts buying into local businesses, one of them being Pearl Street Grill and Brewery. He became a majority owner there over time and invested now, and I don't like to use numbers, but this is a ballpark number just to give you the scope of the American dream, where he came up from being poor to what he has now. It's about $100 million in investments in the downtown area and surrounding areas, including the expansion of Pearl Street, the remodel of the Webb Building, the historic Webb Building next door to Pearl Street, the Lafayette Hotel. That's also a very historic place. The first female architect in the world professionally designed that. And then, of course, Buffalo Riverworks, the big, massive, sprawling waterfront entertainment center in the Buffalo River. So to go from being poor in Buffalo to putting all his marbles back in the middle over and over again and betting on Buffalo the stories that I got to see unfold in front of my life with my dad are really interesting. And I've learned so much from him. And we had the opportunity to talk a bunch the last couple of weeks because he had knee surgery. Now, we talk a good deal amount about business quite often, but this was, we got to sit down and do a little recording of a podcast. And I want to share with you one of the stories that he tells me about his parents when they came off the boat from Europe to America, what it was like, especially for his dad when he first got here. So imagine coming here not knowing any English, not being able to speak the language, and you're just kind of here. You just show up. That's the story that he's about to tell.
I had a pretty unique upbringing. My mother had me when she was 45 years old.
Oh.
And my dad they got married late in life. So they were probably, I would guess, in their early 40s when they got married.
Oh.
So they had migrated like 20 years prior to it. I believe they migrated around the 20s.
Wow. You told me a story last time about how when your parents came from Germany to America.
My dad was from Austria. My mom was from Germany.
Okay. When they came from Europe to here, that it was just a struggle to get a grip, get a foothold on something. They're sliding. They're just trying to make a hold anywhere.
Hanging on by their fingernails.
Yeah. And you told a story about how your dad slept.
My dad got a job because he knew some German people that were working at the slaughterhouses on William Street.
Ooh.
And so right across the street was a saloon. And a saloon, they would feed the guys, these people, and the concept of room and board. However, they would pack in 25, 30 people into a back room, and it's impossible to sleep laying down. And so they would put a big long bench against the wall, and there was a pretty taut rope they would put their arms on and kind of cradle their head, and that's how they would sleep.
Wow. That's incredible. I just picture that, right? So you have a wall and a bench that's like almost like a hockey bench that's just like the length of the wall.
Or a church pew.
There you go. That's a good visual. Everyone's butts are on this church pew. And then there's a rope about chest high that runs down from side to side right in front of the bench. And you basically put the ropes in your armpits. That can't be too comfortable. And just sleep dangling over this rope. And you better hope the guy next to you doesn't fidget, because that rope probably is going to be waking everyone up. If you move on that rope, everyone moves on the rope with you. It's like imagine like a swing or something.
I mean, it's just a pathetic existence.
Oh, that's rough. That is, I mean, you think about before the Industrial Revolution and during the Industrial Revolution, like all of the systems we had to improve to make quality of life better. It's just so much better now that we understand that. But wow, the people in the past, you think about things like who ate the first mushroom that realized it was poisonous, and who worked for the first company that realized this is really not a healthy way for people to live. So I'm glad we evolved past that, but seeing that kind of suffering and willingness to come to America, to follow a dream, to follow a hope, whatever they were escaping, that was an improvement, or at least it was worthwhile to do that, to do that kind of suffering, to try to improve for your family. And it did. To me, Dad, when I look at you, you are the American dream story to me. So I see you, and I see your family came here as immigrants, and they didn't speak English. So imagine just being thrown into a country. You have to survive in this country and their systems and not know how to speak their language. And then do that, have a family, grow up on the east side of Buffalo, poor on the east side of Buffalo, work at Bethlehem Steel, like a blue collar place, and then follow your passion into business. You did things from like trout hatcheries when I was growing up to restaurants, and you tried a bunch of different things. You were, do accounting, do all these different things, but it was your choices that went there. You were allowed to be creative and try all these things. And then you built, what's arguably your own little empire downtown. And the fact that this kind of dream should be available to everyone, that there should be a possibility to live the American dream, I don't think we should just brush that off as nothing. That is something that for a long time is what drew people to come here. Just the chance at that, or not even the chance for themselves. Because your parents, right? Your parents never were rich, right? They just gave you the opportunity really to do that. So they're suffering for you. They never were able to get themselves out of being poor. Tell me a little bit about your parents.
Okay, so let me just do a furthermore.
We're going to stop that clip right there. There's a lot of good material here. I interviewed my father for over an hour, and he shared a lot of wisdom, a lot of ways that, he was able to go from the rags to riches story and what steps he took, and also like mistakes he made and things he changed and all kinds of really interesting stuff. So I look forward to splicing a lot more of those interviews back into the future podcasts. And we have several other interesting interviews lined up. So I look forward to sharing those with you as well. In our next segment, Chippewa closes to street traffic due to violence. Following a stabbing incident involving 3 individuals outside the Vintage Room, Buffalo officials have closed a section of Chippewa Street to vehicular traffic on weekend nights. This closure spans from Delaware Avenue to Franklin Street, effective from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays, running through Labor Day. This initiative aims to enhance public safety and create a more pedestrian-friendly environment in the entertainment district downtown there. Listen, if you're going out and you got to be violent, you can channel that into something more positive. First of all, you have to be somewhat courageous or tough to be just committing violence anyways. And that in itself could be harnessed for something a lot better than whatever this is. So let's be better than that, Buffalo.
I'm feeling right, there's a place inside too high. And yes, it's coming through, now beam me up, let's take a ride tonight. And someone told me where to go, I don't know, but I know.
In our next segment, it's the mystery of the missing Huntley Platte statue. So there's like the Huntley Generating Station in Tonawanda. It's on the Niagara River, right around. There's a blue water tower kind of on the river right there. And the foot of Sheridan's right there as well. And this was like a prominent coal-fired power plant that ceased operations in 2016 after over 100 years of service. I used to like it because there was a warm water discharge that came out of the plant after cooling the mechanical systems inside. And in the late fall and early winter, it would draw bait fish and you could catch fish in front of it. I had some really good days there. But then when it shut down, the warm water shut down with it. And obviously that is not a good fishing spot like it used to be. The founder of the plant is Charles R. Huntley, and he had a big old statue of himself on the property. This was like a big giant statue and a bronze statue. So when the plant closed, some people petitioned to try to save this statue and have it moved, maybe even moved to his burial place in Forest Lawn, but the statue has disappeared and no one knows where it is. So everyone's looking for this giant bronze bust of Mr. Huntley. So if you see anybody rocking around town with a giant bronze bust of Mr. Charles Huntley, please notify the authorities or let someone know where it is so they can get it back to the family and to the proper owners. In our last segment here, a couple of hikers tripped so hard on mushrooms, they had to call 911, and they thought their friend died. So this is a little bit outside the area, but still worthy of the story because it's one of those quirky stories that it resonates across New York State. So these 3 friends, these 3 hikers, they go to Cascade Mountain in the Adirondacks, and they all take high doses, hero trip, that's what they call it. It's like a really high dose of psychedelic mushrooms. They have a very intense trip, apparently. And they were so altered in their state that they called 911 in a panic. 2 of them did, claiming that their third friend had died and that they were hopelessly lost. It turns out that their friend was alive and just had a stomachache and walked away from them because they were basically annoying him. He told police that, guys, I'm not dead. I just needed a break from your trippy vibes. So the forest rangers hiked up and found the 2 lost hikers safe, but just very confused. In the end, there were no charges filed. After all, who hasn't been lost once or twice in their lives, maybe? And officials used the chance to warn the public that, please leave the magic mushrooms for the salad bar at home in the safety of your house, not on the summit of a mountain in the Adirondacks. Okay, so that's all for this week, everyone. This week, we're going to highlight a business, and this is a really cool business because this ties in with our first event. So Carly Martha is the female founder of Success Positive, a business mentoring firm based right here in Buffalo, and is representing our region on national TV. She is one of just 10 entrepreneurs selected nationwide to compete in a business skills competition on the Real Entrepreneur TV show hosted by Dr. Casual Pitts. I don't know how to say that name. Hopefully I'm saying it right. Dr. Pitts. The show airs June 6th at 7 p.m., so that's this week, on the Roku channel TREN, as well as YouTube and Facebook Live. What's on the line here? A $25,000 prize that goes to the winner. So whatever company wins, they get $25,000. She is hosting a watch party at Hansa Workspace on Ellicott Street. Hansa is super cool, so if you guys are not familiar with this, it's on Ellicott Street downtown. And it is like a bunch of small workplaces stuck together, and they have like joint rooms for like a little cafe or meeting rooms, and they share all these spaces. For Carly Martha's party, you can arrive anytime after 5:30 p.m., and the show airs at 7 o'clock, and that is going to be at 505 Elgin Street, Buffalo, New York. On Friday, June 6th, there's going to be business networking before and after the premiere, snacks, light food, popcorn included, cozy couches, chill vibe, free off-street parking. So a lot of people, there's like a Hansa lot there, a guest lot. You can park in that, but people don't usually mess with you on the streets after 5 o'clock anyways. And you can RSVP now. It's open to everyone. And if you want to go to that, there will be a link in the show notes. All right, here's some other awesome events in Buffalo in the week through 6/9. So all those who say there's nothing going on in Buffalo, man, there was so much going on in Buffalo, we had to just pick and choose a little bit this week. Starting this Saturday and every Saturday all summer, there's Saturday sessions at sunset on the Pearl Street patios. So come enjoy the flowers. For California Sober, we got some NA Trainwreck or some Saber's Edge, double IPA. We also got the HelloFresh hop water, which is like a sparkling water. It's really good. There's also award-winning beers and everything, and you get to sit outside. It's free. It's like there's no charge for the music, and there's going to be some really awesome bands all summer that you usually have to pay a cover for, and you're not going to have to pay a cover for every Saturday at sunset, starting at 8 p.m. at Pearl Street. I'll just spit off some of the bands here real quick. Midnight Sconce, Grub, which you just heard this whole episode, Freshwater 4, Watch Your Step, Sunday Rain, DNA, the Soul Street Band, The Tradesmen, Trevor Stribbing from PA Line, Brian Williams Trio, Savo Highway, Roy G. Biv, Letter to Elise. There's all different awesome kinds of music. So you have like new wave, funk, rock, jam, indie surf, Buffalo funk, soul rock, fusion, country rock. There's like all different kinds of stuff. Grub is playing a Sublime cover set called Grub Lime, so you'll know what to expect there. There's other events going on in Buffalo this week. We got the Eden Farmers Market that starts their season on 6/3 at 4 o'clock. Larkin Square, the Food Truck Tuesday kicks off the season on the 3rd at 5 o'clock with music from Jenny Cello. And on Wednesday, 6/4 at 5 o'clock starts KeyBank Live at Larkin, a free concert series every Wednesday through the summer. And this week, the music is from Miller and Other Sinners. At the Kaz on the 4th, you got the Catalyst. That's a night of funk, soul, and jazz. And then on the 5th, there's a comedy at the Kaz. The Downtown Market starts on the 5th and runs every Tuesday through October 25th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Main Street at Fountain Plaza. The Blueberry Treehouse Farm, if you've never been there, it's really cool. It's like out by Kissing Bridge, kind of. Opens for the season on Friday, 6/6 at 4 o'clock. On 6/6 at 7 o'clock, You got the Carly Martha event I told you about already. That don't mark that down. Life is Succulent Plant Shop on 6/7 and 6/8 from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. is hosting a grown-up scholastic book fair. Check that out if you like books. The Penn Dixie Dig, this is a big one. On 6/7 and 6/8, we did a whole episode about fossils in Buffalo, New York. And Penn Dixie, they scoop out new, fresh shale for aspiring fossil hunters to dig through. And you can go in there and sign up. You sign up online on the Penn Dixie website. And this is a big, fresh geology event. So go to the website and check that out. Town Ballroom on 6/7 at 7 o'clock has Laszlo Holyfield. And they're going to do Radiohead in Rainbows album. And then on 6/8 at 6 o'clock at Town Ballroom is Bad Sons. The Sportsman's Tavern and the 8th at 4 o'clock has Ricky Skaggs and Kentucky Thunder. And that about does it. Remember, Buffalo, a rising tide raises all ships. Get your kids into jiu-jitsu. And Buffalo Open Coffee Club, 7:30 a.m., Seneca One Tower, every Tuesday morning. It's open to everyone. Just come on down, have some coffee, network, meet some people, build some trust. And as they say, go build something great in Buffalo this week. In the spirit of Josh Allen's wedding, this week, for Coach Josh's Corner, me, Josh, not the other Josh, we're going to leave you with a clip about love. Some excellent advice, and I'm very lucky to have such a strong relationship in my life, and I truly wish that for everyone. So here's Matthew Hussey. Have a great week, everyone.
What is the worst relationship advice you've ever heard or received?
Find someone who loves you more than you love them.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Great. Good answer. All right. Question number 2. What's the best relationship advice you've ever heard, received, or given?
Make a list of the things that are truly important for you to find in a partner, and then be that list.